Welcome to USB Hole, the podcast where we talk out of our asses. This week we will be. I forgot to intro us again. What the fuck is
That's
wrong with me?
okay.
I'm chill.
I'm the child. Don't edit this out. It's always
And
my screw ups. You screwed up. Don't edit it out.
no, I screwed up the other time too. I forgot to intro us. Whatever,
Yeah.
you don't care who we are. This week we're talking about things that are overhyped. Overhyped things, introducing yourself. So, you want to hear something funny? I was editing. I didn't even let you answer that. I was editing.
Obviously, this is a comedy podcast. I want to hear things that are funny. And I want
Is
to
it a
feel things that are
comedy?
funny too. I don't know. I
Yeah,
thought it was.
we should probably say funny things once in a while. So, this isn't really that funny. It's kind of depressing. I every time I do these intros, I think I'm being like super upbeat, and then I go back and edit them and I sound like I want to die. Like, what is wrong with me? Like
I mean, that tracks.
my voice is super monotone and like I don't know. It's depressing, and now I understand why all of my family always called me like the mortician and stuff, because I'm just bleak, I guess. And I didn't even notice.
Put more oomph in your words.
I have
Oomph it
literally
up.
zero oomph to give you. So
Give me all the oomph.
I have no oomph. Um anyway, let's get
Having
into
oomph. Overhyped.
overhyped things. So the first thing I'm going to say, very controversial, especially to West Coast people, but In-N-Out. And that is a burger chain for those who don't know. I don't know if it's more than just on the West Coast, but I know it's predominantly on the West Coast. Do you have In-N-Out? I
We
can't
don't
remember.
have any here. The only time I've ever been to an In-N-Out is when I was in California.
Okay, so I think it's predominantly West Coast. And all the menu is burgers, fries, and drinks. So like pop or milkshakes. And yes, I said pop. I'm from the Midwest. And I think the fries are the most disgusting things I have ever eaten. Like, I thought steak and shake fries were bad, those little shoestring crappy fries.
Hey, I love a shoestring fry, but not from
You're
Steak and
wrong.
Shake.
Um, give me
Having
steak
opinions.
fries or give me death. So I just think they're disgusting, and I think the burgers are just, they're okay. I'm not going to hate on them because it's just like a smash burger type thing. But when I go past it, it doesn't matter what time of the day it is. There's a hair in my eye. It is a line wrapped around the building like twice. It could be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why don't any of you have jobs? No, you're too busy eating it in and out. And I don't get it. How did you feel when you went there?
Well, I was at a trade show, well, at NAM trade show, and so they had it there, and they kind of like, I don't know, you just got it at the booth or whatever. And I didn't like it because, first of all, I don't like raw onions, and there was a massive amount of onions on there,
Ugh.
so the whole thing just tasted like onion. It didn't really have any other flavor other than onion.
And I bet
Like
because
that's
you
how it
got it at a
came.
trade show, they probably didn't let you do like the secret menu stuff either with like the animal style.
Yeah, you couldn't do anything. It was just like one way. You couldn't even order it without onions. So I just ate it with the onions, and it was just so overpowering. And this, like, it didn't
Absolutely
have
not.
good flavor, but
Have you
um,
ever had White Castle?
yes.
It smells like they dip every single inch of their ingredients in onions at that place. And I cannot
I
stand it.
I'm a crystals girl. I definitely prefer crystals. I don't really think White Castle is good.
It's
If
not.
I'm Yeah, we
Also
got off
overhyped.
topic here, but yeah,
I
also
mean,
overhyped. Go to Crystals; it's so much better than White Castle. You get a corn pop; they're amazing.
I don't know. Is White Castle also predominantly like a Midwest thing or East Coast? Because I haven't seen one out here.
I'm not really sure. Recently, there was one opened like from where I live. I'm gonna say it's like an hour and a half.
Okay.
Um, But up until like the past couple years, there wasn't one anywhere near me. The first time I ever had it was on a road trip to, there's this one in Missouri, and we
Mhm.
found one in Tennessee, and that was the closest one to Florida at the time. Um, but yeah, it wasn't good.
I
It
feel
wasn't
like
worth
it's
going
probably
an
on my
hour out of
list
our
of
way.
no, definitely not. You know what's not overhyped though? Portillo's. And if you have one near you, go eat there.
Yes. Chill repped Portillo's to me, and I went like an hour from my house just to get it, and it was
And
a
it's
really
worth it.
fucking good hot dog. But I really wanted tiramisu, and they weren't. They were out, so I'm kind of disappointed in that. So
Panera.
Tampa, get your shit together. I want some tiramisu.
Their chocolate cake is better than the tiramisu, so just saying.
I'll have to
But
go back and try that. We got off topic, and now we're just talking about good food.
well, I was gonna say that like half of my overhyped things are food, so I could do another one if you want.
Yeah, go ahead, do another one.
So I think that Panera bread is also overhyped if we're talking about food chains because I have never had such little food for so much money that didn't even fill me up and it tasted not great. It tasted like fakey. And I don't
I
know
don't
what your experience is with Panera, but I have never had a good one.
I don't understand why everything at Panera comes with a baguette. So if you're getting a bread bowl, you're literally getting a whole loaf of bread, but you get a baguette as a side.
Yes. I mean,
Yes,
you could get the
baguettes are
apple,
delicious, but like everything comes with a baguette. Um, I don't know.
bread on, bread
I
on.
don't I like one of their types of bagels, but I agree it's definitely overhyped. I mean, I
Their
get stuff like
bakery
that
items are
sometimes.
good. Like
I
their
don't know.
bagels, their muffins, their what are those called? The things with the cheese on them, Danish. Those are all good. Those are all really
I
good.
I like their summer corn chowder. That is really good when they have that soup. Like if you're gonna go somewhere and get soup, I do like that. But the rest of their stuff, I'm not a big fan of. But I don't know if I would. I don't know if I know about the overhype because at least here it's not like everyone's not like, oh my god, Panera. So
In Illinois, it was 100% overhyped. And like we
people,
used to go all the time. Like even though I didn't really like it, like everyone just always went there because it does have some low calorie things and like I don't know, there are salads and stuff, but their salads were just awful tasting. And it tasted like the lettuce was going to give you E. coli. And I don't know, it just all tasted bad.
yeah, I mean, there's only a few things that I get when I do go there, but I don't think it's like such a big popular place here for like the hype side of it to like know that people overhype it, but I get it. Like, I don't think it's like, the best thing ever. So I'm incapable of sitting still, as you can tell. For those who are watching on Thursdays on YouTube, I just move my leg like 50 times.
I think a lot of ours might be like a where you live type situation, especially for
Yeah,
food and stuff, because everyone I
yeah,
know went to
possibly.
Panera. And I'm not saying that all the food is bad there. Like I said, the bakery items are good, and even some of the soups are pretty good.
Mhm.
But for what you're paying for and for how hungry I am like an hour later, it's just not
Yeah,
worth it.
yeah. And it's not like it's like portioned to be like, oh, this is a healthy or appropriate portion. It's just like a very small amount for an o- overpriced. Not to say, oh, this is expensive.
Right.
It's overpriced for what you're getting or what they're giving to you. Yeah, I do agree on that part.
Yeah, because they'll say, "Oh, you can get this salad and it's just 500 calories," and then the salad is like this big, and you're like,
Right.
"Oh, that's why it's 500 calories because it's barely
Yeah.
a salad."
Yeah. Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
those are the two food stores, restaurants. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Those are the two I had.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you had related or
Um,
unrelated even?
I mean, I have a food one. It's not like store or restaurant related, but I do have a food one. I will go into that one. But first, I want to point out that we're both wearing the same shirt. Again, if you can see the video version,
Not a
because the shirt
sponsor.
is so badass, not a sponsor. Um, we wish, but it's just the coolest shirt ever.
Yeah,
And
Mythical hit us
also,
up.
yeah. um, and I did notice, like, again, I'm just gonna get off topic for a second. The audio sometimes on our podcast is a little off, but we are recording these from opposite sides of the country, and we are not a full-on production company. So most of the time, I'm in a random place wherever I can fit this into my schedule to make sure that we get these out to you every Wednesday. And I don't have all the cool features that Chill has because she's chill, but anyway, back to the topic at hand.
Mine wasn't sounding
Oreo.
great either.
Well, I mean, I don't know, better than mine. Mine's like my voice is just so high pitched that sometimes it's just like, hey, take that down an octave. But I am the child, so I have a little baby voice. Just a baby.
Just a
Um,
baby.
okay, so my first overhype thing is going to be I know that you don't agree with me and you're going to tell me to F off, but it's Oreos. I do not like Oreos. I don't understand why everyone thinks they're the greatest cookie ever for multiple reasons. Um, First of all, they're not original. They were a ripoff of another cookie that came out before Oreos, and then Oreo took all of the credit, and now Oreo is still getting all of the credit and all of the hype, and they're not the original. So stop thinking they are, for one. Look it up. And for two, they taste gross and they get all in your teeth. You cannot eat a cookie and then like talk to anybody because you eat an Oreo and your mouth is just like black. It's gross. I don't like it. I don't like the taste of the cookie. I don't like the texture of the cookie. I don't like the taste of the icing. I don't like the texture of the icing. They're gross. That's fine.
I'm not
I
going to
don't like them.
argue with you on this because I don't really eat Oreos. And I know I gave you shit before for saying that you didn't like Oreos, but I honestly never eat them. They're not worth it to me. They're not
Was
worth
that
the
just
calories. They're not worth the time. And then if I eat them, I have to have milk, and I don't like milk. So
you
it's,
just called me out on Twitter for not liking Oreos and you don't even give a shit that I don't like Oreos?
well, I got to do something on Twitter. That's what it's for. And
Oh.
also, the whole reason that Hydrox, the first Oreo, didn't make it is because who the fuck wants to eat something called Hydrox? That sounds like a sink cleaner. So that was a marketing problem with them, and that's
I
their fault.
mean, that was 100 years ago.
Hmm.
Over 100 years ago. You think people cared about the names of stuff? They're just like, oh, look, a cookie.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. I wasn't alive.
I was. I'm, I'm 137 years old.
That'd be
I
fun.
don't know. That would
I
be
think the cream
crippling.
is kind of disgusting. Like, I'm more into the cookie part. I just don't like cookies. Cookies are overhyped. You heard it here.
What? I love cookies.
Eh,
Just good ones.
cookies and cake are both overhyped. Pie is the real MVP, and everyone's sleeping on it.
Pie is good. I do like pie. But also cookies.
I mean, icing in general, unless it's like a cream cheese frosting, is not good. And pie gives you the good stuff inside of it. And it doesn't have to be icing because you're baking it inside of it and you can put the sugar on in there. The cake itself is just a holder for icing.
I
And it's
think it depends
gross.
on. I think it depends on the type of cake. Like when I make cakes, I make my own buttercream, and I also only use small amounts of it because I don't like a lot of icing.
Yeah, but
It's just
then
like
you're just
one
eating cake, and
layer.
cake is the worst part.
What? Well, I didn't make the cake. You haven't eaten a cake that I made. My cakes
That's
taste
true.
good.
I'm not
What
saying they
is-
don't taste good. That's not what I'm saying at all. Because anything that you put with sugar and eggs and flour, like, it's going to be good. I'm saying it's just not worth my time.
I can respect that. If you don't want to eat it.
Like, if I'm having a birthday, I would rather have a pie because I think that's more like the whole experience of it is better.
What kind of pie? We're off topic again, but now I want to know what kind of pie.
It doesn't matter if we're off topic. That's what a podcast is for. It depends on the time. I mean, pumpkin pie is always good.
Oh, yeah, obviously it's the best.
And then summertime, going with like a fruity pie, like a key lime.
Oh, okay.
And then also a wintertime, like an apple streusel, like with the crumble on top.
Yeah, really
So
want
good.
pie now.
I don't want my apples to be crunchy and taste like apples. They need to be soft and melted. Otherwise, I can't eat it. Like it's a texture thing.
Yeah, I cook my apples before I put them in the apple pie to cook so that they're
Yes.
pretty softened. But in my apple pie, I also use pumpkin pie seasonings. So like
Hmm.
things you would expect to eat in pumpkin pie, like cloves, ginger, nutmeg. Like I pretty much put them in everything that I bake, like even my banana bread. But it tastes really good in apple pie. It takes away from that like way too sweet, sugary
Can you bring a
flavor.
pie on a plane?
I don't know. Do you want me to bring one? You want me to ship one to California?
No, I want you to bring one with in October.
Oh, okay. We'll see what happens. I'll bring like like the little pie. Like I
This
have
is
like
my carry-on.
yes, I have those that like it carries the pastry or like whatever the thing is in it. It's like a
Perfect.
lid. Yeah. Like I'm gonna have to check a bag so that I can carry this pie on a plane.
Do you
But
think
I
that counts
need
as
it.
liquid?
No, 'cause it's not liquid.
Well, the inside could be kind of
What kind of
liquidy.
runny ass pies are you eating?
You never know with the TSA, man. They could
Um,
just be like, this is a liquid. And you're like, screw you. It's a pie.
and then I'd have to eat the whole pie before I went through security because I would not throw it away.
Who wants pie? Come on, get in
You
line.
just cut it up and share it.
Yeah,
Like,
that'd
come
be
on,
fun.
people, we're in a hurry. But you have to use a fork because you can't take a knife into the airport to cut the pie.
Right. Well, you wouldn't even be able to
Use
get
dental
into
floss.
TSA. You could have a knife before you get through TSA.
Just bring the knife just in case I can't get through with the pie.
You're like outside of gate 4 or whatever, just like giving away pie. People are like, who the fuck is this bitch?
They like arrest me because I'm just like passing pie around the airport and they're like, what is this poison? Like what's in the pie?
Oh, you would definitely get taken down by someone. 100%.
I one time I was coming back from Pittsburgh and I had two cookies with me. They were marijuana cookies. And
Oh.
I got to the airport like based on what time I had to get dropped off, like it was a family trip. So like when we flew, we all took separate flights. When we came home, there was like 10 of us coming home together on the same flight. Well, my uncle was with us and he needs like pre-board because he has oxygen and all that stuff. So we had to get there like ridiculously early. And then he was like panicking. So then we had to go like even earlier. So we get there like 5 hours before the flight. And I'm like, okay, well, I already ate a cookie before we left so that I could be prepared for the flight because, you can't bring, even when it's medical, you just can't take it with you on the plane because it doesn't transfer state to state.
Right.
So on the way home, I'm like, okay, well, I'll just eat this cookie and, you know, relax my anxiety and everything. And well, we get there and then we're like, oh, well, before you can go through, like you have to go through security right away. Or like most of the airports I've been through, there's like a whole area where you can kind of chill before going through there.
Right.
So I'm thinking we're gonna chill on the outside part of the bag check. So no, so we have to spend 5 hours on the other side of the bag check. Well, so we're gonna go through the security, and I'm like, with all these people, and I'm like, well, I can't risk taking this through there because all these people that are with me, and I'm not trying to like illegally take this through here because I can eat it out here, but I can't eat it in there. So I panicked and I ate them both.
Oh, God.
So mind you, I'd already eaten one. So yeah, I'm just at the airport security fucking mowing down these cookies while everyone's putting their bags on the conveyor belt, and I'm like, all right, well, that would have been a pie. So then eat the whole pie. I couldn't like pass out the cookies to other people. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
I'm not asking for marijuana in this pie.
No, I know. I'm not going to take a marijuana pie on the plane.
Man, you would be high as shit if you had to eat a whole pie worth of marijuana.
This is apples and spices.
Yeah,
Oh gosh.
spices.
Yeah. Anyway, do you have another thing?
I have more food. Why do
Uh,
I hate food so much? Okay, so the next one I actually ate last night. It was a Popeyes chicken sandwich. Um, Especially when it first came out. I know the hype has died down since, but when it first came out, people were literally lining up around the block for this sandwich. Even if like Popeyes had been sitting there for 9 years, because you know how when a new restaurant pops up, everyone lines up for days, like the
yeah.
Raising Cane's in Burbank. I can't even eat there because everyone's fucking lining up, overhyped. Anyway,
And they
so
didn't even let that dog cut the ribbon.
I
Shout
don't
out to
know what they're
Jordan's
doing.
dog.
Jordan's dog, what up?
Yeah.
But last
As
night
if
I
Jordan
ate
would ever listen to this.
it. Nah, no.
Last night you ate the dog?
Oh God, no. So, um, I I ate the
Sorry.
sandwich. I can't even think anymore. I ate the sandwich last night, and I'm like, why did we get so overhyped about this sandwich? It's good, don't get me wrong, and I think it's still one of the best chicken sandwiches out on the market right now, but Popeyes stopped giving a fuck about it, and now it tastes kind of like garbage. I mean,
Oh.
the one I ate last night, I don't know if it's just an out here thing or if it's just happening because it's so old now, but it is so bready.
Yeah, that's the reason that I don't like it. It's not that it tastes bad, it's too much bread. You have the big ass bun and then there's so much
Hmm.
breading on it. There's more bread than there is chicken.
And I love breading, so don't get me wrong, but if
Yeah.
I'm saying there's too much breading, there's too much fucking breading, Popeyes. So I think that the hype might have died down, but it's still too overhyped because everything I watch, like when they're ranking chicken sandwiches and stuff, they still put it at the top.
Yeah.
And that's because McDonald's, have you tried their spicy chicken sandwich? It tastes like dookie.
No, no.
So
The
no one can
chicken,
get it right, is what I'm saying. Like
yeah,
no one else can get it right.
the chicken part itself is good. It's good quality, like when
Hmm.
you go to a fast food restaurant for a piece of chicken, but as a
Yes.
sandwich as a whole, it's too much, and I do get that. There's a Popeyes, I don't know, like 10 minutes from my house, and literally, if they're open, because sometimes they're just not open. I guess they have an employee showing up to work problem. If they're open, the line's always wrapped around the building, but it also takes like 15 minutes for each car to get through there. Like I'll
Oh
watch
yeah.
it. Like I can see it from my front window at work. It's across the street and like catty corner a little bit. Catty corner, whatever that phrase is. Like
Go
across
for
the
it.
way. Yeah, and it will take forever for cars to go around there. And I don't know if it's just that they don't have employees, that takes a long time, or like are they literally making every single sandwich to order? Like I'm not waiting in line that long for fast food.
Yeah, I mean, even before the pandemic, I know that it would take forever. So I don't think either they've always had an employee shortage problem, even before all this, which pay your employees more, Popeyes, or it, like you said, they're just making it from there's why can't I fucking talk today? They're starting it made to order, which doesn't mean fast food. So either way,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not complaining because if it is made to order, that's great because I like fresh food, but that's not fast food anymore than Popeyes.
Yep.
So not worth it.
Okay, that just made me think of one that's not even on my list. It's
What?
related to food and fast food. Okay, so like all of the rage right now, 2022, like pre-ordering and like mobile apps and like ordering your food ahead of time. I think that's super overhyped because again, like you just said, you like it made to order because that means it's gonna be fresh. Well, when you order it ahead, it either sits there and it's gross by the time you get it, or you order it ahead, you get there, and then they don't even start making it until you get there. So it's like you might as well just order it when you get there. So
Yep.
it's like the whole concept and premise of the mobile ordering makes no sense. And also, you're taking away someone's job because you're not ordering from them. But that's a whole nother thing. But like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Five Guys won't start your order until you get there. So I'm like, why do I even bother? But a lot of times the reason I do mobile order ahead is because my boyfriend will be picking it up on his way home from work. And he just worked like a 13-hour shift and doesn't want to stand there and wait. But I know which ones like will make it for the right time, because usually I'll
yeah.
time it and I get it pretty perfectly unless he deviates and does something else. But I could time it pretty well. It's just, yeah, I don't. Sometimes they'll make it too early. You don't know how busy they're going to be. You don't know what's going on in store. Like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of a mess.
And like, I don't know if it's at all McDonald's, but the one closest to my house. So I don't go to McDonald's often. It's just not nothing against McDonald's. It's just I don't care much for that type of food.
Right.
But I do love their French fries. McDonald's hands down has the best French fries when they're hot, and everybody knows that. Whether you eat shit food or not, McDonald's has the best French fries. So anyway, um, like a week or so ago, I was going to work or from work or something. I don't know. And I wasn't feeling well because I get my migraines or whatever. So I was gonna stop and get fries and a Coke because I mean, like I said, the fries are delicious and Coke helps with my headaches with the caffeine, especially since I don't drink it often. Well, so I was on the phone with my mom, and mom's like, "Oh, I'll just order some and then, pick up something for me too, or whatever." So she goes onto her mobile app, orders food for her and my fries and my Coke, and I get there and I'm like, "Okay, I'm here, check in," because you have to get there and check in. And
Yeah.
they're like, "Oh, well, your phone that you ordered on isn't here, so we're not going to start your order until your phone's here."
Yep.
What the fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? Why bother ordering ahead if you have to have that device with you? Like you said, you order and then cut him up, picks it up on his way home. Do you know how many families have somebody who's picking something up on their way home? So,
Yeah.
like, I literally, like, sat there that whole time. The stuff was already paid for, and they're like, "No, you can't do it." So I'm like, "All right, whatever." So then I go and I get in the drive-thru after having already sat there for 10 minutes. And I get up to the window and they're like, "Oh, did you have a mobile order today?" And I'm like, "No, because they won't let me get it because they said the phone's not here." And the guy's like, "Well, what's the number?" And he's like, "Yeah, we have that sitting here." So I'm like, "So you already made it, but you won't let me have it because the person who ordered is not there?" I don't know. That just makes no sense to me. I should, like, it would have been so much easier just go to the window and order it to begin with. But here my mom thought she was being nice by just, like, offering to, buy me some food. And I don't know, it pissed me off.
Well,
So
that's the thing with a lot of like mobile orders. It says, "Oh, the person whose credit card it is you must have the credit card with you." Like, why? So if I order it and give my boyfriend the credit card, how does that prove that he didn't steal the card?
yeah, exactly.
What?
He's
And
still not.
I think I've only had one. I've done like hundreds of mobile orders, and I think I've only had one actually asked to see the card, and no one else has. So I don't give it to him anymore. But like, what's the difference between him not bringing it? It's already paid for. Just fucking take your money.
Yeah,
Like, I don't
just
get
give me
how
my
that's
food.
supposed to save anyone from getting their identity stolen. That makes no sense.
I don't know. This we try to talk about whether or not we were going to get heated during this episode because we were trying to have topics that aren't getting us so riled up, but it just keeps happening.
Yeah, we fail.
Yeah. Oh God. All
We're
right.
trying to
Well,
be
give me
positive
another one.
people, but someone give us some podcast topics, because otherwise we're just going to keep bitching about stuff the whole
We
time and you're
just
going to
want
have
to.
to deal with it.
Yeah. So, give me another one.
Okay, I'll move on from food for a minute because I still have more. Shocker. Um, I'm going to say quicksand. Quicksand was overhyped when I was a kid, making it so everyone thought that they were going to fall in quicksand at one point in their life and you were going to die from it. And I have never encountered quicksand, not once.
They made it out in like TV and movies to be like you're gonna be
Everywhere,
countering it all the time.
everywhere. And I have never once
Oh,
encountered it.
that is
And
good.
now I know how to save myself if I'm ever in quicksand, and I'm never going to be able to use that knowledge because I don't even know where to find quicksand.
That's a good one. Tell
So
everybody
definitely
how to,
overhyped.
well, just in case all these people happen to run into quicksand now, tell them how to get out of it.
Don't panic because you're going to fall deeper into the quicksand. And also, you put me on the spot and now I don't remember.
You like, a thing that I read said you have to
Don't you like
like
get on your
relax, like
back?
lay backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
like you float in it.
Yeah. Because then you
Yeah.
can like move over and don't like push it. Don't do anything that pushes it down more.
Yeah, it like sucks you in. You have to like lay down and like shimmy over to
Yeah. Don't
this.
try and like swim in it because that's just going to push you further down.
Yeah. Now you know.
Now you
Well, do
know.
you
And
run
stop,
into
drop, and
your,
roll if there's a fire. So
yeah.
safety.
Yeah, hey, while we're talking about safety and fires, just a reminder, if there's a fire, smother it instead of putting water on it. If it's a small one, smother that bitch. My kitchen
Especially
was
if it's
on
a grease
fire.
fire.
Oh yeah, if it's a grease fire, definitely don't put water on it. But my
Mm.
kitchen was on fire one time. I came home and the kitchen was on fire, and it hadn't spread very far yet, but it was like the stove and the cabinets next to it. And I knew, like, I made sure that there was no grease involved. I was like, that was my first thing to check. I was like, oh yeah, grease fire, don't put water on a grease fire. Well, there was no grease, so I put water on it. I literally just took the sprayer and I just sprayed it all down. Well, that made everything worse because then the whole room filled with smoke and I couldn't see, and then the whole house was filled with smoke and there was so much damage where I could have just smothered it, and I think that would have been smart if I just like put a frying, not a frying pan, like a sheet pan on it. So like, yeah, do
Yeah,
that.
try and smother if it's unsafe. Try and get to a fire extinguisher
Yeah,
if you can, because that'll be safer than water.
yeah.
But
um
sometimes people keep their fire extinguishers in their kitchen. Bad
yeah,
idea.
yeah, there was no option for that at the time. Safety is not overhyped.
No, that's our PSA.
Yeah. um my next one is kind of like, I mean, it's not really food, it's not a restaurant, but uh it's kind of funny because I can literally see one on your desk right now.
Uh
Um,
oh.
sparkling water, for like those flavored sparkling waters. Like there's
Not a
so many
sponsor.
brands. Yeah. Um, you know, LaCroix, Bubbly, Waterloo, any of those. Like I don't care what the brand is. This is not brand specific. I just don't get the hype on sparkling water. People are all about it, and like it's gross. Just drink regular water.
I can tell you why, because I am someone who hates regular water. So, and come at me if you want. I really don't give a shit anymore. I hate water. Hate it. So, having that sparklingness to it makes it kind of more soda like. And ew, I just called it soda. Who am I?
I instantly thought, oh my god, you didn't say pop.
Soda like sounded better than pop like. That just sounded weird.
Yeah,
So I don't know. It kind of tricks your brain into thinking that you're drinking a carbonated beverage, which you are, but like a good carbonated beverage, so that you drink more water. I don't like sparkling water that's plain. I'd rather it be flavored. Like this is sparkling that's plain, it's grossing me out. I would rather have regular water at that point, but my boyfriend bought the wrong kind, so whatever. But if it's flavored, it it just gives you that pop feel, I guess.
I don't know. I don't like it. I think it tastes dry and gross. And I
I
know
can get
people think
that.
that's weird when I say that the water tastes dry, but it does,
No,
in
I
my
get that.
opinion. Mm.
I just don't drink enough water, so I have to do something to make myself drink, especially now that I'm in a humid or a non-humid climate.
Yeah.
I'm dehydrated all the time. What can you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't like it.
Speaking of non-humid climate, Hollywood. Hollywood is overrated. Um,
What? All of
it's
Hollywood?
the whole town, yeah,
Hollywood the place or Hollywood the concept?
both. Because the concept isn't right. And sorry to spoil the secrets, but nothing is really filmed in Hollywood except like the Hollywood sign.
Yeah.
Um, all the studios are in Burbank. Don't come visit. And Hollywood is just there are some cool things in Hollywood, but the whole place itself is it's it's not where you think it would be. Like you think you see all these studios and all these animation places, literally all of it's in Burbank. I don't I can't think of a single one. Maybe Paramount that's in Hollywood. I think that's in LA though. Well, Hollywood is in LA, but I don't remember if it's in Hollywood. But anyway, Hollywood Boulevard, you know where all the stars are? Disgusting. Um it's just full of panhandlers and poop. So I don't know why I get why people want to go there because that's what you hear about. I mean, anytime you hear of something cool and glamorous and everything, it's Hollywood, but that just has like Ripley's Believe It or Not place and Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. It's all gimmicky.
Yeah. It's touristy stuff. It's not what you
Yeah,
think you're going there for.
but I think that's why they did it because everyone says, "Oh, Hollywood." And so, of course, put up touristy stuff because that's where everyone's going to go.
Yeah.
Burbank is boring. All you see are studios. You can't see inside of them. You can't I went on the tour for the Warner Brothers studio, which was kind of boring. I mean, they're just stages.
Yeah, I
So,
mean that's what it's behind the scenes stuff, and I think people just associate it with what they think it looks like in a movie, and that's just not what movies are. It's just the
yeah.
behind the scenes stuff.
I mean, California is beautiful in general, and if you really want to go see Hollywood, it doesn't hurt to do it once, but it's
Yeah, it's just
overhyped.
yeah, it's overhyped. It's definitely not what you're not getting what you're expecting.
Yeah, so
I
don't
think
be
that's what
disappointed
overhype is. Yeah.
because I'm telling you right now, but do go see it if you really want to. I'm not going to discourage you. I mean, there's some cool things. Seeing stars is kind of cool. The Chinese theater is super awesome, but everything else is just yeah, touristy.
Yeah. I think just in general for me, touristy things are overhyped.
Oh
But I
yeah,
think that comes with living in a state where like everything is about tourism. Like that's our income here. Not my income, but the state as a whole, general. It's like
every time you go,
Orlando.
you're paying her money.
Yeah, Orlando, so overhyped. Like, you want to see Florida? You want to see the beautiful parts of Florida? Don't go to Orlando. You want to see touristy crap? Go to Orlando. If you want to see stuff that's beautiful and like what you actually would see in photos and flyers of Florida, go somewhere that's not Orlando. Which leads me into my next one, which is theme parks. Theme parks are so overhyped. There's like, again, probably a living in Florida thing where we have them everywhere, you know. I don't care whether it's Disney, Universal, Busch Gardens, like the little guys, the big guys, whatever. Like you're paying ridiculous amounts of money to stand in line all day. Like I don't it's not exciting. Like, okay, so even if you like to ride rides, like if you're a thrill seeker and you want to ride a roller coaster, you're gonna pay some absurd amount of money to go stand in a 2 hour line to ride a roller coaster for 3 seconds. Like, why? That's go skydiving or something. Like, do something so much more cool than standing in line all day. I don't get it. And people who like make their whole lives about going to particular theme parks, like no offense to those people, like if you like it, that's fine. I can't get on board with that. I just don't want to go somewhere where there's thousands of people just like in your way, make it more difficult for you to enjoy yourself.
Yeah, we have a year pass to Universal, which I think if you live in the state, it's a little easier to appreciate theme parks because, I mean, you live right there. You could go whenever you want. You know the times when there's no lines or not a lot of tourists and everything. But if you're a tourist, you're probably going to come on days when everyone else is there. So you're going to be waiting in line. But like we went on an early Sunday morning to Universal once, and if you go like right when they open, there were almost no lines. So
Yeah,
like
like sorry,
you
go
could get
ahead.
around that because I have a pass, so I could just go whenever I want. I don't have to buy a ticket and have to go on that day.
Yeah, but then like so you have your year pass and you go there multiple times. Like are you doing the same thing every time you go there? Or you're like, oh, let's do this stuff this time and then next time we'll do something else and next time we'll do something else.
To be honest, I mostly got the pass for the free parking because Voodoo Donuts is there. And the parking is $28 a day, so almost worth it for that. But
That parking that's less than it costs to go to a Rays baseball game.
that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
It costs us $60 to go to the Dodgers. Oh, speaking of Dodgers Stadium, go fuck yourselves. I've been wanting to tell you this for days, but I figured I would wait for a podcast to do it because I have a
Okay, go for
story.
it. Okay, go
So
for it.
we go to walk into Dodger Stadium, and me and my mom have a purse, and we both smoke, so we each have cigarettes. So to get into Dodger Stadium, you obviously have to go through security like any other stadium, but they have a purse measuring station. So
Oh, yeah.
your purse can't be bigger than like this. And
Mhm.
I wish I had my purse here to show you right now, but it's maybe this. So I went over by maybe an inch, if that. And they would not let me bring my purse in. And my mom had way more stuff in her purse. So it was like huge this way, but this way it was only this big. So she could bring her purse in. I was like, you literally just looked through my entire purse as we stood here and found nothing.
Can you just turn your purse sideways if that's the case?
No, it
That's
was
ridiculous.
too long either way. So
Oh.
maybe, I don't know. But then they made her throw out her cigarettes and her lighter because they were like, it's a no smoking facility. And I'm like, no shit, most places are. They don't tell you have to throw out your fucking cigarettes before you come in.
That's
I'm not going to
that one I
smoke in
haven't
there.
heard.
So she threw out her cigarettes, and I had to run back to my car to put my purse away because they wouldn't let me in. And I
Yeah,
was like,
so
you can check every inch of this purse. I don't understand what the problem is. It's not a backpack because I've gone to a million different stadiums and I have never run into this in my entire life. And I looked at stuff you couldn't bring before going because I just want to prepare. And I literally had cigarettes, a lighter, my keys, and a wallet. Those are the four things I had in that purse, and maybe chapstick. And I was like, you can look through every single inch of this purse if you want, put it through the metal detector. I don't care. Like, but now I have to run all the way back to my car to put this purse away. My mom already threw out her cigarettes, so I can't even grab those and put them in my purse to put them in my car.
mm,
And then our tickets are already scanned, so I'm like, well, am I going to be able to get in because now I don't have a ticket?
they scan the tickets before the purse check?
Yeah.
Well, that's ass backwards.
Yeah, so now they have to remember every single woman they just turned away for having too big of a purse.
So for me, that's actually something that I've experienced a lot. Like because I go to a lot of concerts, there's a lot of venues, they all do the bag checks, but it's become really common over the past few years that they do the measuring system. So I already
I've
bought a
never
purse
seen that.
specifically for that because they literally take out a tape and measure. When I just went to Backstreet Boys the other day. There was the first point of contact was just to check your bag size, and then you went to security, and then your ticket check. But yeah,
That makes
so
more sense though, the way
yeah,
that is. I'm
Yeah, in a
still
specific
annoyed.
order.
Yeah,
I've
I'm
not seen
still
the
annoyed that it's that small, but at least that
yeah.
makes a little more sense.
It's not the scanning your tickets first is absolutely absurd. And I've never heard of having to throw away cigarettes things. It's always like I could see maybe them not letting the lighter in, but the
Right.
cigarettes that doesn't make sense to me. But a lot of the venues here have changed to if it's a completely clear bag, you can have it as larger than the regular
Yeah.
measured size. But who the fuck has clear bags? That's weird. But
I
so I
saw a
usually
few
just
people had
bring,
them.
yeah, I usually bring like, stuff that can go in my pockets. But now that I just have that specific, like little strap purse specifically for that because I can put my keys and my phone in it. Because my phone's not as big as some people's, but literally, like if you have an iPhone 13, that is bigger than the size bags you're allowed to bring into venue. And not everyone has pockets, so like that's a little confusing. Like, I understand the safety thing, but like it's odd that the safety is based off of a specific size when things could be dangerous that are different sizes. I don't know, but like
And I didn't
you
feel
haven't,
comfortable putting my phone in my back pocket because what if someone just grabbed it? But women don't
yeah,
have pockets that are big enough to hold things.
exactly. And also, you just want me to walk around with tampons in my hand?
Yeah.
Because you know how many times you go to an event and you need someone to put your tampons, you're like, oh, hey, I'm just come through security with tampons in my hand because there's nowhere to
I'm
put them.
gonna next time. Fuck
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I was
I'm like,
so
hey,
mad.
y'all.
And especially because that day I burned my foot was the
Mm,
same day that I had to run all the way back to the parking
ugh.
lot to put my phone away or my purse away. And I was like, I don't know why. I don't understand. Like literally he already looked through my purse before deciding that it was too big. Don't look through my purse then. Just hand it back and say go back. And
Yeah,
then
don't waste all
literally
this time.
yeah, and then literally that's why I said like checking the size first and then doing all that and then doing the tickets would make more sense.
Yeah,
But no, they scanned the ticket, looked through my bag, and then told me that it was too big. And
yeah,
then literally everyone and all the people who are checking in every line have to remember everybody that's run back to their car because they already scanned their tickets.
yeah. No, that's ridiculous. They need to do that in a better order. So yeah, get your shit together, Dodger Stadium, because
Put it in the
that's not.
parking lot.
Yeah,
Put a
yeah,
sign in the parking lot of how big your bag can be because I saw so
yeah.
many people, a bunch of us were walking back crying
Oh,
because we were just so frustrated about this. And I was
yeah,
telling people with purses as they were walking up, like, don't bring that in. And they were like, oh
yeah. They're
my
just gonna turn you
God.
away.
Yeah. So it was thousands of people who didn't know about this. And then they have to remember every single person so they could let them back in.
This sounds like so much more work.
So much work. And I know it's obviously not the people's fault who are standing there doing that. So I didn't like scream at them, but you're also probably causing people to scream at them.
Hmm.
Like they're just doing their jobs, and Dodger Stadium's stupid rules are probably getting them yelled at daily. So I'm not going back.
Yeah. All right. Do you
But
have another one? Because I only have one left. No, that's all. That's everything from my list.
that's everything you had. I still have like 5 more, 6 more, 7 more. I don't remember.
Do another one. I probably agree.
I think that wine is overhyped. And I
Hmm.
also think the whole, oh, mommies drink wine thing is really gross and annoying. Um, just because we're women don't mean we have to drink wine, first off. And also, wine gives me such a headache. And I know so many people who say they get headaches from wine and they still find it the only acceptable thing to drink. Society, why?
Yeah, I definitely agree on this completely. I think it's overhyped and it does give me a headache, but I don't drink it anyway.
Yeah, I don't drink it. I'll drink beer instead. But there are people who feel like they need to drink wine or have. Remember in the pet peeves thing where I said I hate people who say my? Oh, I
Yes.
gotta have my glass of wine. Shut up. Shut up. You're so annoying. It's like a personality trait at this point. Like a wine mom. What are you doing?
my chair is like rubbing on this thing, and I
Oh.
just can't get comfortable. I just have to sit in every weird way possible, other than like how you're supposed to sit.
So yeah, I don't like
Sitting
mine.
still,
Sitting still is overhyped for
it is.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't like the show Friends. I
Oh,
think
come on.
I think that's overhyped. We went to the Warner Brothers tour and the whole thing was basically based around the show Friends.
Oh, really?
Like their cafe is obviously Central Perk, and then they have the fountain where they all sit in
Mm.
the intro, and then they have like a recreation of the couch in like 3 different places, and it was too much. And I don't think
Did
the show's that funny.
Did you watch it when it was new?
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yep.
I watched it when it was new, and I am a fan of it, and I can quote every freaking episode with. I can watch them on mute, but I do get like a lot of, especially younger generations who are trying to watch it, don't watch it, and there is a lot of stuff that kind of didn't age well, or things that now like now that we're more open minded as a society, or are things that are like, yeah, like that joke actually isn't funny, and things like that. But overall, I still really like the show.
Well, I am someone who didn't like it, who watched it as it came out, so
Yeah.
that's why it
But
went on my overhyped list.
hey, that's
Um,
cool. We don't have to agree.
I also think the company Apple is overhyped because there are people who will wait in line for days when anything new from Apple, anything comes out. They will sit in line, rain or shine, snow, sleet, whatever, just to get the next iPhone, which is the fucking same iPhone as the one before it.
Yeah, I agree on that. I do have an iPhone, but I
So
agree
do
on that.
I.
Yeah.
I mean, at
I
this point, it's too hard to switch because everything. That's the problem with Apple, and that's why I don't like it because everything is so connected just to Apple products. Like, you cannot connect really Apple things to other types of products. So, when you're using a Mac, there are like certain programs on there you cannot use anywhere else, like GarageBand. GarageBand is Apple only.
Do you have a Mac?
No,
Uh,
I have a PC. But like GarageBand is Apple only, Mac only, and
mhm.
you cannot use it in anything else. And even Microsoft Word, like, yeah, you could download it onto the Mac, but it's not going to do it correctly. And you cannot, it like ruins the formatting if you try and do it between a Mac and a PC.
Yeah,
So I
because they're
just,
based off different operating. It's an
right.
iOS. Yeah, it's not a Microsoft operating system. I definitely agree with you, but I will say that. So, like, before I ever had an iPhone, I always used to make fun of people and rag on them, like, "Oh, my iPhone, my iPhone, my iPhone," because people never said, "Oh, my phone is ringing," or "Oh, can you get me my phone?" It was always iPhone, iPhone. I'm like, you don't have to describe what kind of phone. Like, no one's like, "Oh, my
No.
Samsung something 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 is ringing. Let me go get it." So I always made fun of people. But then when I got an iPhone for the first time, I was like, wow, this thing is so much easier to use and navigate. And then especially teaching other people how to use phones, especially when it comes to like older generation, you're trying to help them. I do just think it's a much more easier operating system. But the hype of the whole thing is definitely overhyped.
Yeah, I definitely don't like sit. I have an iPhone, but I don't sit outside and wait for the brand new one every year. I don't even buy the new one every year. I think I have an 11 right now, but I don't get the need to be a huge Apple fan. Like, it's like an identity. Like the
Yeah,
wine, it's like a personality,
yeah,
and
I'm
I
not
don't get
into
it.
that. I agree with that. Yeah,
But I do think the iPhone is easier to use because I've had other
yeah.
phones and it's definitely easier. But when my phone's ringing, I don't say my iPhone is ringing.
Yeah. Yeah. Just like, oh, the phone. Yeah, I have a friend who she's always been, every time a new product comes out, she's always waiting. She's always like every new time the watch gets a new watch, she gets a new one. I'm like, dude, I have like I don't know what series watch do I have, like a 3 or something. I don't know, some old ass one that I was given as a gift, but it was brand new and I appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. But I'm not out getting a new one every time. Like half the time I forgot to even charge the damn thing, but like you don't need to get new upgrades every single time. In general, technology upgrades like that, like it's outdated before the next one comes out. At least skip a cycle.
Yeah. Well, I still have the Apple Watch 1,
Yeah.
Series 1. So, I mean, I have the 3. Where is it? It's right here. I do have the 3. Oops. But I'm not using it because the 1 is still working just fine.
Why do you have 2 Apple Watches?
Because this one was dying like super quick, so I thought something was wrong with it, and I figured it's like 5 years old, so I might have to just replace it. But then it started working again, so I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so the last 2 I have on my list, so we don't run too long, are back to food. Steak and bacon. So I know especially bacon is overhyped because there were a few years out there where that's all people were talking about, and I don't know why.
I definitely agree on the bacon front.
Because it's bacon, it's okay, but I do not get. I think that was one of the most overhyped things I've ever seen in my life, and it's bacon.
It was like
Why?
a whole fad for like a
Yeah,
period of years. Like everything had bacon on it, all the puns about bacon, like your bacon be
t-shirts.
crazy.
There were
Yeah,
so many t-shirts and so
yeah,
many like even songs and videos that included
yeah,
bacon, and
yeah,
I do not get it.
yeah.
Um and I know you like steak, but I don't get steak either.
I have just recently, in like the last year, started eating steak, and I only eat it at specific times. So I definitely feel there's an overhype on steak. So I'm with you on that.
I
It's
mean,
a
people
new
just
thing for
talk
me.
about it. People just talk about it all the
Yeah.
time, and there are so many steakhouses, and you're paying like $30 minimum for some of these steaks, and it's like, why? It's just another cut of beef.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not paying $30 for a burger. Why would I pay $30 for a steak? And I have tried it because I'm a picky eater. We might have a podcast on that one day. I haven't decided yet. But I have tried it well done, medium well, medium rare. I won't go any lower than that because gross. But I have tried it in most capacities and I just don't get it. And I have also tried it with A1 steak sauce and ketchup, and it made it a little better because
Oh,
I'm a
ketchup.
disgusting human being.
Oh,
But
God.
I can't stand plain steak, and people don't marinate them well. So it's like, what am I even going to this restaurant and paying all this money for? I don't understand.
Yeah, for me, it definitely has to have good flavor. It has to be cooked a certain way, and it has to be a certain cut of steak for me to enjoy it. But I do feel that it is overhyped, and certain cuts especially. But like a
Yeah.
filet mignon is going to be so much better than like if you go get a skirt steak. Like
See,
huge
I hate
difference.
filet mignon.
But it's also it is like people make it out to be like so much like it's like this great thing. It's just another part of a dead animal that you're consuming for sustenance. Like it's
Yeah.
not that great.
I don't
Um,
understand.
but ketchup is fucking disgusting. I can't believe you put ketchup on steak. Ketchup is so fucking
I
overhyped.
was trying to do something to make it taste better for me, like to understand the hype. And it's
Yeah,
like, oh, Father's Day, let's go out and get steak or let's grill up some steak. No,
yeah,
give me a hot dog. I'd rather have that. It'll be like
yeah,
50 cents.
yeah. No, I definitely agree with that. But yeah, oh, I can't stop thinking about the ketchup now. And I like A1 steak sauce on steak fries. Yeah.
Ew.
What? Really? Steak
I don't.
fries dipped in A1? I don't put A1 on steak. I literally only eat it on steak fries.
So, what do you do with steak? You don't put anything on it?
No. Because if
See,
it's cooked right, you don't
dry.
need anything. No, because if it's cooked right, it's got like butter and seasoning,
Okay,
and it's just like
butter,
melts
that's
in your
something you
mouth.
put on it.
You don't put on it, you cook with it on it. Like it gets cooked with the butter already on it, or the butter in the pan.
I think that's a I don't
Like I
know.
don't dip it in butter on my
I know you
plate.
don't dip it in butter, but I still think that's putting it on it.
Oh, okay, then yes, butter is what you put on steak.
Because when you marinate, it just soaks it in. So I don't think that's considered putting it on it, but I think anything outside of that while you're cooking it is technically putting it on it. And I think, of course, butter would make it taste better, but then it becomes bad for you.
Butter, garlic, salt, and pepper. That's it. Boom.
Butter just makes it everything bad. If I'm gonna eat steak, I want to be healthy about it because why else am I eating steak? It doesn't taste good.
Don't eat it. You don't have to eat it. You
Speaking
eating like
of,
protein wise, or
I mean, yeah, it could be. I mean, obviously, it's not healthy. Most red meat's not entirely healthy, but it's probably better for you than some of the stuff I eat. But I'm saying, like, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I'm not eating steak. I never do. I don't know why I'm still talking about it, but
okay. Move on. What's your next one?
I don't
Is this the
have
last one you
anymore.
have? Oh, that's
Yeah.
it? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
But
Okay.
lobster is also overhyped. It's a gross thing from the sea.
Yeah, I don't eat lobster. I don't
They
eat
used to
seafood.
eat it in prison. I mean, come on. Come
Do
on.
you eat lobster?
No, I don't eat
Aside
seafood at
from it being,
all.
okay, I see.
But
Yeah.
people freak out about it and pay again like $30 for it. And it's a bug of the sea. Gross.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so if you guys agree or disagree with any of these things that we've
That's more
overhyped,
likely.
yeah, probably disagree. Hit us up on Twitter at chillandchild and let us know what you think. Also, hit us up and let us know whether you're listening to these, you're streaming them or you're watching these episodes on YouTube.
Or both.
Just let's see, yeah, where you're digesting our assholes. No,
What? On
that's not what
that
I.
note,
That's not what I meant to say. Like, we're talking out of our assholes. Where are you digesting our work? I don't know. Whatever. Hit us up and let us know on Twitter at chillandchild.
okay, bye.